Hello and welcome my dear students. I am Rohan sir from Mahdi English Medium School. I welcome you all my dear students of Standard 3rd to today's science lecture. My dear little gems, in the previous lectures we have been doing the explanation of the chapter number 6. So we have just started with the explanation of chapter number 6. Now that we have done 1 or 2 pages of explanation of chapter number 6, now the explanation should not be constant. You need to write something. For that you need to prepare the basic things. So after the explanation of 1 or 2 pages, I thought that let's start with just the objective which will help you to just clarify each and everything while I am explaining you the chapter. That means while I explain you the chapter, I thought that few words are such that you need to have the knowledge of, and few objectives are such that you should know that first before going further in the chapter, in the depth of the chapter. So in today's lecture, writing part will be there, and in the next lecture again we will continue with the explanation part. Now I hope that you are sitting with the textbook and rough book so that we can start with the writing part. Not the subjective obviously, but the objectives which are required further before we go into the chapter. So I hope that you all are sitting with your books, with your pencils and even the textbook. Whenever needed, I'll ask you to look into the textbook. So let's get started with today's lecture. And before that, I hope you are doing well, you all are fine and fit, and even you are sending your homework to the follow-up teachers, because the students who are sending me, obviously I am keeping note of them, and I also appreciate to the students who are regularly sending me the thoughts they are finding. They are really working hard for that. Out of box they are doing the work, so it's really commendable, and really appreciate the students who are sending me the thoughts. And daily whenever I get at least the new thoughts, I display all over it, and whenever I think that the thoughts are interesting, I will surely bring onto the screen. Today also I have brought one interesting thought at the end of the lecture. So let's get started. So what are we going to do today? We are going to start with the new chapter number 6, living things, non-living things, objective part. So I hope you all are ready. So in your rough notebook, please just give a short heading, objective part. In the header part of your rough notebook, kindly give the heading, objective part. And also don't forget to write today's date. That is what I am telling you daily in all the lectures, that do not forget to write the date. Time is money. You need to mention at what date you have done. Many students have sent me the work. The presentation is good. Every time they have written the dates. Everything is clear and legible. Okay, so I hope that you have given today the heading, objectives part. And now below that, just write give the heading chapter number 6. Or even if you want to write beside it in the bracket, you can write it down. It should be mentioned that this is the objective of chapter number 6, so that whenever you refer to it back, whenever I give you the writing part after explanation for the fair book, you will be able to refer to it again. So it is must for you to write everything properly. Okay, now that I hope that you might have written the objective part as a heading and chapter number 6 as well. Let's get started. So first heading you need to give after that is hard words. Please give the heading hard words below the heading chapter number 6. This is the first heading we are going to start with, hard words. So write down once and repeat twice. This is the method how we are going to do in this lecture for the hard words. Hard words are not much. I have found the few hard words in which the few words are really easy, but the students will be finding, this is what I think, as per my perception, I have found the hard words, that few students might find this as a hard word. So I have referred to all the students, that is all the categories of the students, and then I have found these hard words. Okay, so I hope that you have given the heading hard words. So let's get started. What do you have to do? You have to quickly jot it down from the screens. You have to write it down from the screens as soon as I display, and then you have to repeat it twice after me, that is 2 times after me. So I hope you will do in the way I have written. Okay, number 1, living. Please write it down. Number 1, living. Living, living. Okay, now please repeat this after me, all the students, loudly and clearly. Living, living. One more time. Living, living. Okay, and I hope for writing one word, these 4 to 5 seconds are sufficient enough for you. Number 2, non-living. So that means you just need to add non and hyphen before the word living. Non hyphen living, living. So please repeat this after me. Non living, non-living. Let us repeat it one more time. Non living, non-living. Okay, I hope that you were repeating after me, and I hope that you have written both of these words, because you have got sufficient amount of time to write both the words, living and non-living. Moving on to number 3, STOMATA. It is not tomato, it sounds like that, it is STOMATA. Please write it down quickly. Make sure you leave one line and you write each hard word. For suppose you have written 1, then leave one line, then 2, then leave one line, then 3. This way you need to write the hard words so that your work is tidy, and like when you send it to us, you will be able to recognize how much you have done. And try not to overwrite. That means striking it out and writing it again and again. So this shows how bad you are doing the work. Make it clean, tidy. Okay, now please repeat this after me. STOMATA, STOMATA. One more time. STOMATA, STOMATA. Okay, number 4, reproduce. Please write it down quickly. It's reproduce. Again, this is a compound word, that is combination of 2 words. Anyways, let us repeat it. I hope that you will repeat after me. REPRODUCE, reproduce. REPRODUCE, reproduce. Okay, STOMATA and reproduce. I hope that you were able to write this down in this much time and that you have repeated after me. Number 5, energy. Yes, this is energy. Why have I given you this word? Because many of you don't know the spelling, many of you don't know how to pronounce it if you know how to write it down. So this is the problem. That is why even the simplest word, sometimes you make the mistakes, and that is why from all the students' viewpoint I have found few words. Okay, I hope that you are writing this. Please also repeat after me. ENERGY, energy. One more time. ENERGY, energy. Number 6, alive. Some of you call it alive, some of you call it alive. It's one and the same, and both are correct. Okay, so please repeat after me. ALIVE, alive. One more time. ALIVE, alive. Okay, I hope that you got sufficient amount of time to write these both words, energy and alive, and also you have repeated after me. Number 7, cockroach. This is not good. I know that you don't like cockroaches, but anyways, this is one of the hard words which was there in the lesson in the chapter number 6, living thing and non-living thing. Obviously, cockroaches are the living thing. Okay, I hope that you are writing this. Also, please repeat after me now, loudly and clearly. COCKROACH. 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 Okay. Moving on to number 8, shelter. Shelter. SHELTER, shelter. Okay, please repeat this after me. See, even if you are writing, you can repeat after me. You can do both the things. SHELTER, shelter. One more time. SHELTER, shelter. Okay, I hope you have written both these words, cockroach and shelter. Number 9, sense organs. Again, this is a compound word. That means two words together makes one word. Sense organs. Please write it down properly. Make sure in haste you don't make any kind of mistake if you're trying to write it quickly. Okay, please repeat this after me. SENSEORGANS, sense organs. Let us repeat it one more time. SENSEORGANS, sense organs. Okay, number 10, movement. Yes, I have seen students making mistake even in this spelling. They skip either of these E's. That means both the E are present. They skip any one E while they are writing this spelling. So, please write it down. Okay, now please repeat after me. MOVEMENT, movement. MOVEMENT, movement. So when you speak movement, you skip E, but you have to speak movement. So it is again combination of two words, move and ment. So when you keep your pronunciations clear, your spellings are also automatically clear. Okay, I hope you have written these two spellings, sense organs and movement, in your books. Now students, please give another heading. Please give another heading, difference between living thing and non-living things. So what do you have to do? You have to just give the heading difference. You don't have to write living thing and non-living thing. It is but obvious that when you are doing chapter number 6, it is all about living things and non-living things. Just give the heading difference. Okay, so you have to write the difference. What you will do? One you will write on the left hand side and another on the right hand side. It is very obvious that difference is you are writing this way only. You don't have to draw the lines, you have to just put the gap. One, if you write on the left hand side, put some gap and the right on the right hand side. Or even if you want to draw the line, like through the page, if you want to draw the line, you can draw the line. So have to write in your rough notebook. Obviously don't write right now in your fair notebook. Right now you have to write everything in your rough notebook. Okay, I hope that you have given the heading difference, and I hope that you have given it on the new page, because difference it will consume at least one whole page. So you don't have to repeat after me, you just have to write it down as soon as you see on the screen. So first point for the living thing and non-living thing is here. See, this way you can keep the gap, or even if you want to draw the line, the choice is yours. So this is the first point. Quickly write it down and I'll read it 2 times each point. If you miss out something, you can watch the video lecture again and again and you can write it down from the video lecture itself. Okay, living things can move on their own. I hope you have started writing, students. Living things can move on their own, whereas non-living things cannot move on their own. Non-living things cannot move on their own. See why we are doing these differences? Because if these differences are clear in your mind, then you will be able to understand the chapter, the remaining part of the chapter easily. You should know what is the difference, what are the different points between living things and non-living things. That is why my motto is first to give you these differences, hard words and objectives, so that when we will jump back again to the textbook, you will be able to understand the remaining part easily, effortlessly. Okay, I'll repeat it one more time so that you will get enough time to write it down. Living things can move on their own. I hope that you are writing clearly. Non-living things cannot move on their own. Okay, now if you have missed out something, you can watch the video lecture again. No worries. Now second point for living things and non-living things. Living things grow with time. Write it down, students, as fast as possible. At least try your level best to cover all the points, and then in the worst case, if you miss out something, again the facility is there, you can watch the video lecture again. Living things grow with time, whereas non-living things do not grow with time. Non-living things do not grow with time. Obviously, living thing, that is the example, human being, like boy or a girl, you grow with time. Whereas, can you see pencil or eraser growing with the time? No, in fact, they we use it and it decreases. Okay, one more time I am going to repeat this. Living things grow with time. Non-living things do not grow with time. So grow and do not grow is the main part of the difference here. Now moving on to third point of living and non-living things. Please write it down quickly, and you can even listen to me. Living things air to breathe. That means they need the air to breathe. So please write it down as I say. Living things need air to breathe. Living things need air to breathe. Whereas there is no question of breathing in the non-living things. So the point is, non-living things do not breathe. Non-living things do not breathe. I hope you are writing it in the legible writing, so that when you send the photos, we'll be able to see it clearly, we'll be able to read it clearly. And in case if you are not able to write it down, when you watch the video again, you write it down. So whenever you are writing it, just make sure whenever you finish writing, you send it to your teacher. At least not more than 2 days you should take. Okay, anyways, I'm going to repeat these points again. Living things need air to breathe. Non-living things do not breathe. So there is no question of needing air or anything else. Okay, moving on to fourth point of living thing and non-living things. Please write it down quickly. Living things need food to grow. Living things need food to grow. Whereas non-living things do not need food. Non-living things do not need food. Now you all need the food, animal needs the food, plants make their own food, green leaves. But have you seen your book or your compass box or water bottle eating the food? No, they do not need the food because they are non-living thing. So we need the food to grow. So I'm repeating these points again. Living things need food to grow, whereas non-living things do not need food. Okay, so while I'm explaining you, while I'm repeating this, you are getting the time to write. So I hope you are consuming this time properly. You are justifying with the time and you are writing down each and every point. Moving on to next point, number 5 of living thing and non-living thing. Now please write it down. Living things feel changes around them. It is very obvious. Living things feel changes around them, whereas non-living things do not feel changes. So students, here if you just write till changes, it is okay. No need to write around them. Even if you write, it is good. So both will work. Like non-living things do not feel changes. This is also what you can write, or do not feel changes around them. Both will work. Now you are the living thing. So you can feel cold, you can feel hot according to the changes in the climate, changes in the weather. Even you can feel the noise. So these changes you can feel because you are living thing. Whereas whatever you do around the non-living things, they are not going to feel any single thing. So living things feel changes around them, whereas non-living things do not feel changes around them. Now if you keep your book in your cupboard, in your bag, or in anything else, they are not going to feel anything. Even if you will burn it, the page, they are not going to feel anything, but you will feel the change. So this is the point. Okay, I hope you have written this. Moving on to number 6 of living things and non-living thing points. It's very simple point. Please write it down quickly. Living things reproduce. Living things reproduce, whereas non-living things do not reproduce. Non-living things do not reproduce. Human beings, animals, even plants reproduce, but non-living things cannot reproduce. I hope you are writing it properly, and even when you are writing it down, please just check it once that your spellings are correct, so that again and again you don't have to go through it and check your spellings. So I hope you have written this point. Now moving on to number 7, that is the last point of difference between living things and non-living things. So it seems like a big point, but it is very easy point. Human beings, plants, animals are examples of living things. Please write it down. You can write any one example, any two examples, or all of this. Human beings, plants, animals are examples of living things, whereas book, pencil, TV, etc. are examples of non-living things. Now non-living things are endless. If you just look around you, there are lots of non-living things, like you can see the chair, sofa, television, mobile phones, like etc. things are there around you. Okay, so I'll repeat these points again. Human beings, plants, animals, etc. are examples of living things, whereas book, pencil, television, that is TV, etc. are examples of non-living things. Okay students, so I hope that you have written these points properly, these points of differences properly. So now moving on to the last part of this lecture, and then we will end our lecture. So the last part is keywords. Now, not all the keywords from the textbook I have brought. Few important keywords which you need to write I have brought here. So please make sure that you write it once in your rough book. Please give the heading keywords on the new page. So these keywords are nothing but the definitions. Okay, I hope that on the new page you have given the heading keywords. Let's get started. First keyword is stomata. Please write it down. You can write as I have written, or you can write it in your own way. First keyword is stomata. This is what even it was in the hard words. Please write it down. Stomata. So, tiny holes in the leaves through which plants breathe are called stomata. I will read it 2 times. Don't worry, write it down as fast as possible. Tiny holes in the leaves through which plants breathe are called stomata. So basically, we human beings, we breathe from our noses. Similarly, plants have the leaves, and within the leaves they have the small, very small holes which we cannot see, which is not visible with our eyes. So with the help of those holes, plants breathe. So those holes are called stomata. So in short, for human beings it is nose, and for the leaves it is stomata. So tiny holes in the leaves through which plants breathe are called stomata. Okay. Number 2, which is the last one for this lecture, reproduction. Please quickly write it down. Reproduction. So what is the definition here? The process by which living things reproduce the more of their own kind is called reproduction. So human beings produces other human beings. Elephant produces other elephants. Lion produces other lions. Then similarly, tiger produces other tigers, and so on. So the process by which living things produce more of their own kind is called reproduction. I'll read it one more time. The process by which living things produce more of their own kind is called reproduction. Okay, students, I hope that you have even written this. So now is the time for thought of the day, given by our brilliant student Bojani Narjis of Standard 3rd, which is one of your classmates. So what thought she has given? A good teacher is like a candle. It consumes itself to light the way for others. Excellent thought. So a good teacher is like a candle. So she has compared a good teacher with a candle. You can see the candle. When you lit up the candle, it burns. It burns itself, but it gives the light to others. Similarly, teachers are also, the good teachers are also like a candle. They do very hard work. They burn themselves to make their students shine. So I hope you will take this thought into consideration, into your mind, and you will obey the instructions given by the teachers. Bojani Narjis, we appreciate you for spending your time, for giving us this thought. I hope all the friends of Bojani Narjis will too give their thought, so that we can bring that thought on the screen in front of your friends with your names. So thanks for watching the video lecture, students, and do not forget to send your work to the follow-up teachers, because you know that daily I ask you to send the work, Daily I request you to send whatever work you have done so that we can consider the hard work you have done by watching the lecture. If you cannot write everything with the one take, you can watch the lecture again and again. You are free to do that. That is the only reason why we are sending you the link of the lectures in your groups. So I hope you enjoyed the lecture. Goodbye. Take care.